We always try so hard to be prepared, to understand information. Our goal is to be prepared, to build a sustainable life as a homesteader. And so therefore, we're always looking at what's going on around us. But guess what? Sometimes we make mistakes. What are 5 mistakes that a lot of preppers make and then ultimately can put them in a very vulnerable spot, and how it can impact your life, impact your preps, and impact your family, all because you made mistakes? Let's jump into those mistakes that a lot of preppers make, and if they don't make these, they're on the right road. If they start making these mistakes, they're putting their family in a very precarious spot. Let's jump into it. It's going to be a good video, and it starts right now.
Life is a winding road.
Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so much for being here today. If you're new to the Max, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's okay, but let us know what you think about this video. We still need you to subscribe. We have a lot of people viewing, but they're not subscribed. It takes nothing to subscribe, so we hope that you will go down here, press subscribe, and remember, we give away something every month to our subscribers. So all it takes is you subscribe to this channel, subscribe to our vlog channel, The Max Life, and let us know that you're subscribed. We do give something away each and every month to hopefully help you on your prepping journey, on your homesteading journey, to live a more sustainable life. Now let's jump into the content for today. One thing I've learned is that people don't want to admit that they're wrong or they make mistakes. Well, people in the preparedness and the survival and the homesteading movement, we're no different. We don't want to talk about the mistakes that we make. Today we're going to talk about those 5 things that could pretty much put us in a very bad spot. It could risk you and your family, and we don't want to do that. So let's jump into a list of things that you should not be doing, because these mistakes will cause way more stress to any situation. Number 1, we are notoriously bad about buying things, stockpiling things, and putting foods up, putting goods up, putting all these things that we need to protect ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to be prepared, to build this beautiful pantry. But guess what? The mistake is we put all our eggs in one basket. Now what I mean by that is, if we are putting everything we own and every prep we have in one location, in one room, and we call it our preparedness pantry or our stockpile, we're making a huge mistake, because that means if something goes wrong with that room or that area or that home, everything you've worked for is gone. You have to quit making the mistake of putting all your preps in one place. So we always push caches, we always push other storage opportunities, we always push places that you can tangibly get to the things that you want to get to. Maybe it's a bug out location. Maybe there is some stuff that you can hunker down with, but you don't want to put it all in one place. When we put it all in one place, it becomes more vulnerable. We learn the same thing with our finances. If we put all our eggs in one basket, we have a chance of losing it and being less spread out and less diversified. What's the same way with prepping? If we don't learn to spread it out, then we could really see major problems if all of a sudden something happens in that room. What if ants break out in that room and you don't have a good storage? What if rats happen? What if a fire breaks out? What if theft comes? That could happen, and all your supplies, all your goods, all your monies, all the things you've worked so hard to buy, pay for, and put up for preparedness is gone. So that is a huge mistake, putting everything in one spot. This also goes with gardening and with our homestead. We have 3 or 4 locations of peas, 3 or 4 locations of corn, 2 or 3 different locations of our herbs, our kitchen gardens. Everything that we produce, we also have a duplicate version of it in the greenhouse, just so we have a sustainable food source. We have to make sure that we are diversifying everything that we own, from not only our monies, but our preps, even down to the things we eat. Let's put them in different places and make sure that if something happens to this place, we still have this place. Don't make the mistake of putting all your eggs in one basket. Number 2 major mistake is you're a lone wolf and you think you can do it yourself. You're not Rambo. You're not even Chuck Norris. So therefore, you can't go at it alone. You could be one awesome ninja, but you're still not good enough to face it alone. So you have to build community. A mistake that a lot of people make in the preparedness community and in the homesteading community is we think that we're fighting any battle by ourselves. We have to learn to work as a family, work as a community. Now, I'm not saying you have to let everybody come and live in your commune, or you have to turn into some kind of sect, or you got to live in a clan living situation, or you turn into an Amish village. I'm not saying that. Those are all good things, by the way. But I'm saying you don't have to make those sacrifices, but you could have meetup points, you could have community, you could have people that are near and dear to you that can help you focus on certain things. So for me, I have mentors in different animal topics. If I need a question to answer, I can call this person so we can bounce ideas off of them. Same way with preparedness, same way with even YouTube. We build communities so we can understand how we can work together in any situation. Well, when it comes to preparedness, it's the same way. If no one knows anything about preparedness and all of a sudden we're going at it alone and it's just me, myself, and I, or me, myself, and my family, we will probably struggle through any situation that we go through, no matter how prepared we are, because we're only a human being. We're a finite person that needs sleep. We're a finite person that cannot defend everything. You're not Chuck Norris. You're not a ninja. Don't make the mistake that you think you can do it alone. You are not a lone wolf. You're not going to fight any battle just by yourself. We want to think we can, especially men. We get so prideful when we're like, hey, I'm a black belt in karate. I'm excellent when it comes to self-defense. That's great and all, but you're one person. Don't make the mistake to think that you can do it all on your own. Learn to build a community. I think you will serve yourself and your family a whole lot better. Number 3 is a big one. And actually, I get a lot of people that will accuse me of this. I love to talk, so I tell you about things that we're doing here on our homestead. However, I'm very, very, very cautious on what I share. Even the places that I show you on our farm, even our tours, even our pantries, anything I show you or talk about with our stockpiles, there's still things I don't tell you. Why? When we open our mouth and we brag and we talk and we rip and rare about all the things that we've got and we boast about all the preps, well then guess what? You're telling everybody where to go if something goes bad. Now, I've done videos on self-defense and defending our home. We've showed you a lot of our house and how we defend it. However, that's just a few steps. That's not everything. So we cannot make the mistake that we rattle off all our preps to all the people who really could care less about it, because they're going to remember that if all of a sudden you have a crap hits the fan scenario. Also, if you've got a bug out location or you've got this secondary home that's got all your stockpile in it, you really don't need to be telling anybody that. Only the people that's in that close, tight, honest community that you consider your kind of circle of people. And preparedness in homesteading, it's good to have friends. However, we got to make sure that we aren't bragging to the masses, because the masses do not care about you, they care about your stuff. You've worked hard for it, you don't want to lose it. You could put yourself in a very precarious situation, especially if you're in cities or in areas that are very close to cities. The more you rattle off about all the things that you have and all the things that you do, I promise you, you're going to put yourself as a target, and that's not what you want. People who make preparedness videos and homesteading videos, we are putting ourselves out there. However, we have to be very conscientious of what we say, where we say it, how we say it, and talk about all the things that we have, because we want to make sure that we're not giving away everything that we personally do in the preparedness and the homesteading movement. Don't make the mistake of running your mouth and putting your family in danger. Number 4, having stuff doesn't make you an expert. Having stuff doesn't make you a phenomenal survivalist. Having a black belt around your jeans right now doesn't make you good at karate. Now, what do I mean by that? We can buy all the gear that we want. We can stockpile all we want. But if you have a ferro rod and you don't know how to light a fire, you've done nothing. If you have a stockpile and you don't know how to cook it, you've done nothing. If you have self-defense tools and you don't know how to use them and be accurate with those, you've done nothing. By having weights in your home and you're not using them, guess what? You're not gonna have any muscle. So practice makes perfect. A lot of times we get so entangled in making sure we have everything we need as a prepper, as a homesteader, as a sustainable person, as someone who is trying to be prepared, but we don't practice how to use these things. We don't practice our skills. We don't hone in on how to shoot a bow and arrow. We don't learn how to fish or clean an animal. We don't learn how to process our own meats. We don't put the practice in. And we say, well, if something happens, at least we got it all. If you've got it and you don't know how to use it, guess what? You're just a sitting duck and a target, like we talked about with the last point. So number 4, don't make the mistake of buying all this stuff or putting all these cool gadgets up, having all this amazing preparedness, not knowing how to utilize it. We talked about this in the bartering video. My wife is a nurse. We have everything in our first aid kit is on purpose. It's practical. It makes it perfect to have our little mini hospital. But if I didn't know how to use it, I needed to know how to use it. If my wife and I both didn't know how to use it, having all that stuff doesn't mean anything if we don't know how to learn the skills to help ourselves if a situation ever arose. Having self-defense skills is great, but if you don't know how to use them, it's not helping you. If you don't know how to light the fire, it's not helping you. If you don't know how to put a tent up, it's not helping you. So we need to practice our preps, but at the same time, understanding we don't need to buy everything that we see. Make sure that it's practical. Understand that what you're buying can be something that you can use for a skill. Money is too hard to come by. Most of the time when we talk about stockpile videos or prepping videos, or we say buy this now, our goal is to tell you, and in most of those videos we say the same thing. If this is not practical for you, don't buy it. If you don't like this, don't buy it. So it comes down to understanding buying goods and having preparedness is excellent, but knowing the skills to actually perform the task at hand is even better. So don't buy junk if you don't know how to use them, and don't forget to practice your preps. If you don't practice in a bad situation, a crap hits fan situation, and you're stressed, you're still not gonna know how to use them, and you're not gonna be able to rely on digitized forms of understanding how to use them. So practice your preps right now. That's a mistake that a lot of people don't do. They buy all this stuff and don't know what they're doing with it. And number 5, lastly, is something I tell you every time I do a current event video, because we make the biggest mistakes when it comes to trying to understand how the world is working right now. We cannot believe everything we hear. Not everybody is a puppet. Not everybody is part of the deep state. Not everybody is wearing a tinfoil hat. Not everybody is against you. However, some are. So you have to learn to listen, make wise decisions, have discernment, gain wisdom, and start seeking information and truth out for yourself. I want to tell you a lot. However, in every video, I always mention, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. When you learn to do your own research, then you're not relying on someone else to feed it to you. In preparedness, in homesteading, you don't need to be a baby and being fed or bottle fed. You need to learn to take the information in yourself and grow. Understand, hey, this is my opinion on the situation. So yes, listen to people in the preparedness community. Listen to people on YouTube. I love listening to people on finances on YouTube. I love reading financial books. I love budgeting. I'm a weird person like that. However, I can listen to all of them, but I need to start building my own opinion about my personal money. I can tell you all day to buy precious metals, or to put cash up, or to buy this or buy that. But if it doesn't benefit you, or you don't think it could benefit you, don't take my advice. Learn for yourself. Learn to put the research in, and that way you have discernment. You know what you need and what you don't need. You know what to believe and what not to believe. Love Twitter. I love the fact that it is an open platform and not nearly as biased as it used to be. I can scroll through 20 posts, and some of those are pretty outlandish and pretty outrageous. Does it mean they're true? Does it mean they're false? No, but I need to dig into it a little bit and say, I don't know the source. I want to learn a little bit more about it. Even reputable news sources, when we do some of the videos, like when we talk about current events, I typically don't want to just look at one source. I want to look at 4 or 5 sources and try to build a true wise statement and a true wise opinion on what I've taken in. I don't want to take just one person's word for it. So I challenge you, as a prepper, as a homesteader, as someone trying to do better, just in any aspect of their life, don't just believe everything you hear or everything you read. That is not good. That's going to make you one step closer to being very, very vulnerable to anything. Think of the last few years. Man, there's still people wearing these things over their face. Do we actually think it's helped? No, we went through 15 different versions of what's truth and what's not truth, and people are still doing it. So remember, don't just believe everything you hear. Have discernment, start building wisdom, because that mistake right there of believing everything, you will be like a sheep falling off the mountain with the rest of the sheep. It's stupid. You don't be stupid. That's a very stupid thing to do. You have to learn to rise up, go against the current, and see actually what's going on and make wise decisions about the research you're personally doing. I love you listening to me. I love you watching my videos. However, I want you to do your own research. Don't take my word on it. Don't buy gold where I buy gold if you don't want to buy gold there. But you need to do your research on it. Don't put cash up just because I say put cash up. Do your research on it. Check your local bank out. If you don't like the local bank, go to somewhere else. But what I'm saying is, be wise and have discernment. These 5 mistakes that we talked about, all these things pretty much cause catastrophic situations for you and your family, make you more vulnerable, and all the prepping, all the sustainable living, all the stuff that you've worked so hard for, your blood, sweat, and tears in, will all be for naught. It'll all be taken from you, and you will be the one left out with nothing because of these 5 mistakes. When I say these 5 mistakes, there's also a counter opportunity there to say, okay, I'm not gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And therefore, when we start making better decisions instead of making these 5 decisions and these mistakes, we're gonna become better at what we are doing, taking care of our family, making sure we're prepared in any situation. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped. It's not about the things of what we must do, it's the stuff that we better not be doing. And when we better not be doing it, so it won't put us in a vulnerable or precarious situation for us or our families. Guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless. Happy homestead, y'all.
Sky is falling down.